Hi folks, I'm the newstarcadefan here, and welcome back to A Winters Daydream. In the last episode, everything came together and a miracle happened. And in this episode, the clock struck midnight. The next day arrives, and I awake with a yawn. The sunlight streams in through the window, illuminating the top of my head. It's nice and warm. I think it snowed a little during the night, but the gentle sunlight of this brand new day has possibly melted some of it. Birds twitter on the denuded branches of the trees outside. It sounds oddly loud in the relative silence of this morning, and I groan. Part of me wants to open the window and shoo the birds away, but another part of me thinks that will require too much effort. Yeah, it's way too early in the morning for this. What if, upon approaching the birds, they saw fit to reply in perfectly fluent Japanese? Considering everything that's happened, I would not be surprised. Fantastical though it sounds, I don't think I'd be too surprised if the bird spoke to me. Not after all the bizarre things that happened lately. This world is stranger and more peculiar than I once let myself believe. It's filled with odd, improbable things, and most of us never realize it. We're swept up we're so swept up in the hustle and bustle of our daily lives. We fail to notice how much magic there is in this world. And I'm not just talking about the spirits. There are other kinds of magic too, in the warmth of the sunshine, or the singing of the birds even in winter, or the smell of my grandmother's cooking. Speaking of which, I rise to my feet. My toes curl up against the tatami mats. They feel scratchy against my bare skin. It's not entirely pleasant. Then I throw my clothes on and make my way to the kitchen. Standing by the stove, stirring what seems to be a pot of miso soup. Ah, you, perfect timing. Can you help me set the table? That's right, folks, the clock struck midnight for Umeko. It's my grandmother. This time she really does look like my grandmother. The pretty young girl I met yesterday is gone. The woman in the kitchen with her beige sweater and her choppy weathered hands is the woman I know very well. Grandma Umeko, my father's mother, the woman who told me silly horror stories when I was a child, the woman who ate slices of watermelon with me outside in the summer, the woman who cuddled up with me on the old sofa in front of her boxy television set to watch Pokemon with me, though she didn't understand any of it. Yeah, she did say straight off she did this so she wouldn't want to be left behind. I used to hate visiting my grandmother when I was a kid. I never realized how much of an effort she made. I thought she was dreadfully dull and boring, and whenever she tried to share any of my interests, I silently resented her. When my dad asked me to give my grandmother a kiss before we went home, I turned my head sullenly and folded my arms across my chest. I thought being kissed by my grandmother was terribly uncool, and I didn't want to catch germs. Plus, she smelled. But I don't think I'd mind that now. I'm a little older, and I'd like to think I'm more mature. Well, with what's going on in the revelations, you're growing up, you. And although we're grandmother and grandson, with a large generational gap between us, I like to believe we can still be friends. I set the table down with my grandmother, stirs the miso soup. The two of us work together in companionable silence while the birds twitter outside. When the food is done, my grandmother carries the various plates and bowls to the table. Her food, like always, looks delicious. The miso soup is accompanied by bowls of brown rice, fresh pickles, and fried celery. I hope you like it. It looks amazing, but you didn't need to go through all this effort. But I wanted to. You deserve it, you. After you helped me so much yesterday, I really dragged you around the houses. It's no big deal, really. Well, let's not start this again. Eat your food. Eat. Yeah, eat it before it gets cold. I'm more than happy to oblige. I fish a chunk of tofu out of my miso soup and pop it into my mouth, chewing slowly. My grandmother's miso soup tastes different than my mother's. It's a bit richer, slightly earthier, and I think she uses a different kind of dashi, and more of it too. I never really liked the taste when I was a kid, but I've developed a newfound appreciation for it. This is the food my grandmother made for my grandfather when they were still together. She made it with careful consideration, and it's filled with love. You can already always like my miso soup. I learned to make it to suit its taste. I can tell it tastes, I paused trying to search for the right word. Warm? Well, I should hope it's warm. It wouldn't taste very nice if it was stone cold. Exactly. That's not what I meant. That's just... Oh, you know what I meant there. I'm only teasing. Yes, you like doing that. Forgive me, I'm an old woman. I need to amuse myself when I can. But does it have to come at my expense? Why not? Your reactions are rather charming. You're far more receptive to being teased than your father was. When I poke fun at him, he always lost his temper. He's good at dishing it out, but he really can't take it. The two of us continue to eat together, and our heads bowed, bathed in the sunlight, and that spills through the windows. For a single shining day, my grandmother was a young girl again. Now she's an old woman. She's reverted back to the way she always used to be. Like Cinderella, I had to wonder whether the enchantment faded away as she was lying in bed as the clock struck midnight. Her long dark hair slowly turning white, while her skin formed wrinkles like a pickled plum. My grandmother doesn't look unhappy by the sudden transformation, however. Rather, she seems quietly content, like one who has come to accept the innumerable inevitabilities of life. How does going back to your own body feel? Old being the operative word. Like I've returned home, I suppose. Home? That's right, I've enjoyed being a pretty young girl again, but that isn't who I am now, not really. It felt too much like I was playing pretend. My body just doesn't feel like it my own. If it's not riddled with a few aches and pains nowadays. Are you in a lot of pain? I'll make do. It's not so unbearable, and I've grown used to it now. Wow, I'm surprised her own grown-up children didn't ask if she wanted to move in with them, because it can't be helped. That's just how life is. Don't you regret it even a little? I do miss the way things were, but there's no point of mooning about it. The past isn't something that's meant to be dredged up in modern times. It can't keep up. True. You mean memories are more special if they remain memories? Exactly. I really wouldn't want to be young forever. Then I'd have to watch the people I care about growing old without me. That'd be much too depressing. That actually is a depressing thought. And if you play Shikon Forever Man or read the comics, you'll know exactly what Umeko is talking about. Like you say, your grandmother and your mother getting older? They seemed so strong and sure of themselves when I was a child. But all impressions are fleeting, I suppose. Time moves on. It does indeed. It might have stopped for me for a single day, and I'm glad for it. It might I could meet Yukinari again. But we can't live in daydreams forever. Yeah, that's true. We have to wake up from them eventually. Thought you loved reading. I do love reading stories filled with wonderful dreams. But most readers, even avid ones like myself, can make a distinction between real life and fantasy. I chew my food slowly, thoughtfully, and let the taste of my grandmother's miso soup spread across my tongue. As I swallow, I ponder. Will I be able to talk about a nearing march of time with such serenity when I'm my grandmother's age? Will I be able to accept my gradual decline and decay as a natural part of life? Or will I struggle against it? Will I try to fight the flow of fate, like a swimmer out in the sea attempting to combat a fierce tidal wave? I don't know. I can't imagine coming to terms with a concept as all-consuming as my own death, but I'm still young, and I have a long life still ahead of me. My grandmother, meanwhile, has already lived most of hers. We have different perspectives. I have time to get to where my grandmother is right now. Time is limited. I know that, but when you're young, it seems to stretch out endlessly. Infinitely. There's a whole world out there for me to explore. I'm just getting started. No, do you think you should be leaving soon? That's right, we gotta go back to our family. Leaving? To your home, your family. They're probably missing you. Ah, she's right. Right, because we only supposed to be here for a couple of days. I only intended to stay here for a couple of days. Now that those couple of days have passed, however, I wouldn't mind staying a little bit longer. That's very sweet of you, dear. But do you know what day it is? December 31st. New Year's. I'm supposed to go to the local shrine with Mom and Dad in Otoko tonight. I almost forgot. How could I forget? That's right, you should be going. Your parents will miss you. I'm sure Otoko won't. And what about the trains? I don't know if they'll be running. I went outside this morning and the snow isn't quite as thick as it was yesterday. I think the trains will be running again. And failing that, you can take the bus. But should we though? My grandmother smiles coyly. Though I'm not sure I trust Mr. Nakamura. I shudder. Yeah, Mr. Nakamura is a busybody. If he drove like a man possessed yesterday, and I thought I was supposed to be in contact with the spirits, maybe he wanted to show off. I met it's not every day you meet such a pretty girl on this bus route, and from Tokyo no less. Men are always showing off. That's the one thing I don't miss about being young. That's actually true. Men when younger do stupid shit, and kind of regret it when they go older. Well, most anyway. You didn't like the attention? It's fine when it comes from an attractive young man, but people like Mr. Nakamura. Now, he's young enough to be your son. You should be thankful. I'd rather not. He isn't my type. If the way he handles his buzz is indicative of how he handles his women, I'd fear for my safety. Yikes. She's calling him out. That's a minute. Yeah, agreed. We don't need that kind of image. Sorry, I can't help it. I was jerked around so much on that awful buzz. It took years off my life. I hope not. My grandmother knows my discomfort and smiles, resting a hand on my shoulder. It's a figure of speech, you. Oh, right. I should stop taking you so seriously. Right, you never know when she's joking or when she's serious. Almost everything that comes out of her mouth is some kind of silly joke. She's always been that way. I know I like telling jokes, dear, but I have even important things to say sometimes, and I think you should spend the day with your family. You're my family too. I know, and I had a wonderful time with you, but don't worry, we'll have more wonderful times together in the future. And in the new year, and the new year after that. You promise? Of course, I might be old, but I'm not at death's door just yet. Like I told you last night, I want to live on so I can hear all of your stories. Then I'll do my best to create stories worthy of your attention. That's the spirit. My grandmother ruffles my hair and, for once, it doesn't annoy me. In fact, I quite like it. That's right, folks, you was actually growing up, and also I think he's beginning to realize why there's a rift between him and Otoko. I like being with my grandmother. I never thought I'd have cause to say this in my life, but she really does mean a lot to me. I suppose the old saying is really true. Blood is thicker than water. I was a fool not to realize it sooner. But at least I wasn't too late. I think that's the biggest blessing of all. We're not done with this yet. No, not by a long shot. After the credits, the next episode, we're gonna be putting in some finalities and some finalities into this, and possibly repairing the relationship with Otoko. So until then, if you like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and to share. And I'm the newstarcadefan here saying thanks for watching. Have a good day or night wherever you are, and bye for now.